Rest in peace, Injustice 2, you were supposed to last much longer. So at this point, it is safe to say that Mortal Kombat 11 is currently in development, seeing as how NetherRealm Studios are wrapping up with Injustice 2. And when you look at NetherRealm's track record when it comes down to each game that they release, it is clear that the next game is in fact another Mortal Kombat installment. However, what's really interesting about MK11 is the fact that we could have some potential leaks, or more specifically, some of the characters who will appear in MK11 as well as the potential storyline. And these quote-unquote leaks have yet to be completely debunked, and it really goes without saying at this point, but always take this with a huge grain of salt. Now when it comes down to the characters who will appear in MK11, the obvious one is of course Scorpion, which, let's be honest, it's a no-brainer. He's a fan favourite as well as Ed Boon's personal favourite character within the Mortal Kombat franchise, and even with the one game that he didn't appear, which is of course MK3, everyone pretty much lost their minds to the point where they were forced to put Scorpion back in for Ultimate MK3. And also an obvious one is Sub-Zero, who will reappear in MK11 as well, because not including Sub-Zero in any of the Mortal Kombat games is like not having Ryu in any of the Street Fighter games. It's just something that you can't do. But not only that, the leak also does mention that Raiden will actually appear in MK11 and will in fact be the main villain, which given the ending to MKX, it makes the most amount of sense in the world. And again, you can't have a Mortal Kombat game without Raiden. And although the leaks didn't mention these two characters, it is pretty safe to say that both Liu Kang and Katana will also appear in MK11 as well, which makes sense given the setup between the two characters. Now before I go any further with the other characters, I do have to point out that the main story for MK11 is supposedly going to be its own original storyline. However, it's going to be borrowing some aspects from the PS2 era, or more specifically some elements from Deadly Alliance, Deception and Armageddon. And apparently they're currently working on some concept art for the main characters that they're going to introduce in the game, such as Onaga, who was also the main villain for Mortal Kombat Deception. And given all the big bads from each Mortal Kombat games, it is clear that Onaga was next in line. And if this is remotely true, then I would be so happy about this because I really want to see Onaga again. But not only that, supposedly there are some other concept art featuring both Taven and Dagon, to which many of you guys probably remember from Mortal Kombat Armageddon. And given how both of these characters have been teased quite a bit from some of the MKX arcade endings, it was pretty clear that they did have plans for both Taven and Dagon. But the most interesting one to me is the fact that apparently there are some plans in introducing Blaze as well, who was the main villain for MK Armageddon. And with the combined additions of Blaze, Onaga as well as even Dark Raiden, I feel like that this is going to be a little too much. Unless of course the story itself is going to scale back on Blaze and that he's going to have more of a minor role, while the main focus is centered around Onaga and or Dark Raiden. But overall, the future of the Mortal Kombat franchise as well as MK11 is really intriguing to me because there's so much possibilities. And if these leaks are to be true, then I think that this is a pretty good step in the right direction. Because a lot of people wanted to see Dark Raiden again, there was also a great demand for the return of Onaga, and there were even some people who wanted to see Blaze done right. But given how NetherRealm Studios likes to announce their games between May and June, we do have a fair bit of time before we know anything concrete in relation to MK11. So are you excited for Mortal Kombat 11, and what do you think of these potential leaks? Do you believe that these are legit, or do you believe that they're just complete BS? Comment below and share some thoughts. And as always, thank you guys for watching this video, please like and subscribe, take care and have a good one.